So you're tired of just talking about AI, right? You want to actually build something with it. Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to give you the exact no-fluff roadmap to get started with Python for AI, even if you've never ever written a single line of code before. And look, that's not an exaggeration at all. This is the language that powers pretty much everything, from the recommendation engine on Netflix to the photo recognition on your phone. Learning Python for AI isn't just picking up a new skill. It's like getting the keys to the workshop where the future is literally being built.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It is so easy to get lost in this sea of tutorials out there, and honestly, most of them will have you learning stuff you'll never actually use for AI. That's why we're here, to show you the direct path, the one the pros actually take, so you can skip all that noise and get straight to what matters.
See, here's the thing. This isn't just about learning to code. It's about learning to think and work like an AI developer from day one. And the single biggest thing, I mean it, the biggest thing you can do to avoid frustration and build real momentum is getting your coding environment set up correctly right from the very start. It changes everything. Okay, so let's start with your Coder's Toolkit. And I want you to think of this less like a chore and more like you're setting up your own professional workshop. Getting this right from the beginning is an absolute cheat code that will save you countless headaches and put you months, if not years, ahead of everybody else.
All right, so this professional toolkit of yours, it's got three essential pieces. First, the language itself, Python. That's our foundation. Then you need a powerful editor, and for my money, Visual Studio Code is the absolute gold standard, and it's totally free. And finally, the real secret weapon, something called a virtual environment. This is what separates the beginners from the pros. Think of it this way. A virtual environment is like having a separate, clean, totally isolated workshop for every single project you work on. I mean, you wouldn't use the same heavy-duty tools you use to build a car to, I don't know, fix a delicate watch, would you? Of course not. This just makes sure that the tools for one project never, ever mess up another. It's the key to staying organized and, frankly, staying sane. Now, we're going to supercharge our editor with a couple of plugins or extensions. First, the Python extension. This basically just teaches VS Code how to speak Python. It's like giving it a dictionary and a grammar book, so it understands your code and can even help you write it better. And then, the Jupyter extension. Now, this is where the magic really starts to happen. It gives you this beautiful, interactive way to see your code run, which just makes learning and experimenting so much more fun. Okay, the workshop is built, the tools are all laid out. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's write our very first line of code and see why this whole professional setup thing is worth its weight in gold. Every single programmer on the planet starts right here. It's a simple command that tells the computer to display the text, "Hello World." It's like a universal rite of passage. And today, it's your turn. And this right here is why we did all that setup work. This is the payoff. On the left, you've got this messy, cluttered, kind of confusing output that you'd get with a standard setup. And on the right, that clean, organized, interactive window we just created. This isn't just about making it look pretty. It's about being able to actually focus on what matters, your code. So congratulations, you've officially run your first program. Now let's really quickly go over the three fundamental building blocks of the language itself. You can think of this as learning the basic grammar before you start writing incredible stories with your code. First up are variables. And honestly, the best way to think about a variable is like a contact in your phone, right? Instead of remembering a long phone number, you just save it under a name like mom. That's all a variable is. It's just a simple, convenient label for a piece of information you want to use again later. Okay, so what happens when you have a whole bunch of related information you need to group together? Well, that's where data structures come in. A list is just like it sounds, a simple shopping list, just an ordered collection of items. But a dictionary is a little more like an address book, where you have a key, like a person's name, and then a value, like their phone number. Both are totally essential for organizing data, especially for AI. And finally, this is where your code starts to feel, well, smart. Control flow is all about making decisions. For example, you can tell your program, if this email contains these specific keywords, then you should classify it as spam. But else, if it doesn't, you should send it to the main inbox. It's this simple if-then logic that is the foundation for even the most complex AI systems out there. All right, let's just take a breath for a second and connect the dots here. We've built a professional-grade workshop, we've learned the basic grammar of Python,
So now, let's see how these pieces all come together and form the foundation for building some truly incredible things with AI.
What we've just built, this is your launchpad. With these fundamental skills, you are no longer just a consumer of AI technology. You're on your way to becoming a creator. You can start building your own custom chatbots. You can analyze huge sets of data to find hidden insights. You could even start automating parts of your own job. The possibilities really are endless.
And this is probably the most important thing I want you to walk away with. This isn't just a way to learn. It's the way to learn if you're actually serious about doing this. Following this professional path will save you from months, maybe even years of frustration and hitting dead ends. It's the shortcut that all the experienced developers wish they had when they were just starting out. So look, you've built the workshop, you've learned the basic language, you have the roadmap, and you've taken these first critical steps on your journey. The only thing left to do now is to start building. So the real question is, what's the first problem you're going to solve with your new superpower?